What's up guys, and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I'm going to show you a character that you need as a new player. So over here in the summoning portal, there'll be a couple different options: shard summon, fusion, and fragment summon. Then most of those are going to be right there behind the little webcam and a picture of me. So you're going to go to fusion, and there's a few different ones here: Relic Keeper, Rhazin Scarhide, and Broadmaw. The one we're going to be focusing in on here today is Rhazin Scarhide. He's an exceptional champion who's really good in a lot of areas of the game, and he can really be a hard carry for a newer account and newer player, help you get through a lot of content, just be a really useful champion for you. And essentially he's free, so you do have to put some work in, which I'll explain in a moment, but he's free. You don't have to get lucky, you don't have to shard pull, you just work towards him and you'll eventually get him, though it can take a while, but it's worth it. So I'll quickly go over how it works. So you'll see a tier list here, all these rare champions, and it shows you 4 ascended stars, which is the purple star, level 40, 4-star, all that fun stuff. And then from each set of 4 rare champions, maxed out and all that, they go up into each of these epics. So what you'll do is you collect through shards, farming through the campaign, all the different ways of getting them. You'll collect these rares and you level them up, use the potions from the dungeon potion keeps, rank them up to 40, which isn't too terribly hard to do, and you collect all of them, and then once you've got them all maxed out, you fuse them into the epic champions, which then you do the same thing both to level 50, or all 4 of them to level 50, and then from there you fuse the 4 of them into Rhazin Scarhide. And one of the things you might be thinking, which kind of got to me when I was first playing and trying to do this fusion, I figured, well, why would I burn 4 epic champions who could be really useful into 1 legendary? 4 champions for 1. That doesn't seem like a great deal, but if you really look into them here, none of these epics are particularly good. Let's see, can we look at them from here? Yeah, so you got the first one, attacks 1 enemy, accuracy decrease, increases defense, a little bit of heal, speed reduction, faction grip. So he's not particularly good. Next one, let's see, what do we got here? Chance of 1 poison, 1 attack. It's okay. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance, increasing duration of all debuffs. Not bad. Huge cooldown, nothing crazy strong. And the last skill, 1 enemy block buffs. And it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, if you pulled it, I don't know, you could use them, I guess. Not particularly good. The orc one, extra chance of a crit. Not bad, but not a game changer. Decreased defense, that's a decent skill. Extra chance of critical hit, so you don't have to build crit in as much. So far this is looking like the strongest of them. Yeah, decreased speed debuff. Decreases target's turn meter by 30, more critical chance. Nothing particularly special. And the last guy here, Torture Helm and the Orcs. 1 enemy, 30% chance stealing a random buff from target. Damage health from attack and defense. It's okay. Attacks 1 enemy, damage proportional to this champion's max HP and increases according to number of dead allies. I guess it could hit hard if he was the last one standing. Nothing crazy. And then he has a free revive to half health. Nothing real good. Most of these are pretty bad epics. They're pretty much food. I'd say it's not worth holding on to any of them. And then this guy, the king. And then this one, the one you're waiting for the whole time you're working towards him, is 100% better. Is a 1, attacks 1 enemy 3 times, which is really good. 20% chance of removing 1 random buff from the target. So he'll run in, slap him 3 times, and he has a 20% chance of taking away one of their buffs. The second one is a 2, attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff, and a 25% weaken debuff, both for 2 turns. Higher chance, cooldown to 3 turn, extra damage. This skill is great. Weaken is, especially late game, one of the strongest debuffs you can have, and then decreased defense is really strong almost anywhere, mostly on bosses, but even on just champions. Lowering that defense by that big of a number makes even the strongest targets pretty easy to whittle down with anyone that does damage. So it's a really good skill, even though it is only on a single target, but it's still really strong. And then my favorite skill of his, which I've used especially in Arena, but it works really well for dungeon waves and just anywhere else, is his A3. Attacks all enemies, decreases turn meter by 100%. Extra damage and a cooldown to still a whopping 6 turn, but this skill, Bogged Down, can be amazing, especially in Arena. So the way I've had the best luck with this skill is you build up his speed through your gear, you build up some accuracy, and Arena starts, you speed boost him, or you just go first, and you lay that skill out, everybody on the other team gets hit, all of their turn meters are immediately reduced to 0, and the rest of your team can go without having to worry about it. You almost a free turn, if you will, because their turn meters all reduced to 0, and you just keep wailing on them. It's such a good skill, and in waves for dungeons, reducing all their turn meters so that you can keep going and whittle down waves a lot faster. It's such a nice skill, even though it does have the long cooldown. So that's his kit and his quick stats. So he's got decent HP, I guess attack doesn't really matter. He's a defense champion, and all of his abilities scale damage based on defense, which is always a good thing. He's got okay starting defense, I guess. He's a little on the slow side, starting at 86. A little closer to the mid-90s is about average. So sitting at the 86 speed, he is a little on the slow side, so you'll definitely want to try and work some speed into his gear. Definitely makes a difference. And then obviously accuracy, so that you can land your decreased defense. And I believe also your turn meter reduction requires accuracy, so a little accuracy goes a long way too. And then Zara, ally resistant Arena. Not a big deal. I guess you could try and do it if it's a very, very debuff heavy meta, or if you're not going first or building a defensive team, that could be useful, I guess, but not a great aura. But the other 3 skills are just amazing. So despite the bit of a slog to get to them, I definitely recommend to newer players to watch your rares whenever you pull them. It does, let me see if I have one here to show you. Here it is. So when there's a champion you pull or have that is part of a fusion, whether it's one of the already in-game fusions like the ones we were just looking at, or an event one, you'll see this little blue swirly icon in the middle of the character portrait. That will let you know that, hey, this character is used in a fusion, and I think it also checks before you like burn them for food or anything. So it'll let you know, hey, this character's for a fusion. Makes it a little easier to watch out for, to make sure you're not getting rid of ones you need. So just check your rares whenever you're pulling shards, whether it's mystery or ancients. Just keep an eye on those rares and see if they might be one of those guys you need down here for the fusion, and just hold on to them. Get a little levels into them when you can, when there's not events going on or anything you need, because I definitely recommend saving up and going for Rhazin. He's a really good character, super solid. And now we're over here at my main account with my Rhazin, and we'll kind of show you what we're doing on him in mine, and I'll show you his stats here, and then we'll show him in action a little bit. So I've got him mostly set up in accuracy gear, 2 set of that, and then a 1 set for speed. He's definitely slower than you would prefer him to be, but I mostly use him in dungeons these days, so he doesn't need to be blazing fast, but more speed would be better almost in any situation. Let's see here, so we've got him at 30k health, 2k attack, doesn't matter, 4, almost 5k defense. I could actually lower his defense, because defense soft caps at about 4,100, I want to say, and then only 127 speed. I'd prefer that to be higher, as I said. Kind of low on the crit rate, so personally for me, I might kind of lower his defense a little and see if I can work in some more crit rate. And then 97 crit damage. It's not bad, and more would be better still, as always, but not a big deal. He's mostly there for the debuffs and the turn meter control, hence the 183 accuracy. Again, more would be better, but at 183 I've had pretty good luck with him always landing his things. I do not have a single book in him, because legendary books are very hard to come by, and I have picked other places for them. He's perfectly fine without him. Like I said, I've still had incredible luck using him. He's carried me through a lot of the early game dungeons and bosses, done a lot of debuffing for me and whatnot, and I really didn't need the books. I think he would only get better with books. I just haven't had him to spare, being an almost completely free-to-play player. So, I haven't booked him. If you can and want to, awesome, go for it. He'll only get stronger. And then with the Masteries, these are a little outdated. Obviously in the support tree, you want to go with your accuracy, and then heals champion by 10% of their max HP the first time an enemy is killed. I mostly used it to work down into here. You could just as easily go with the increases accuracy by 20 when there's no skills on cooldown. You know, start a fight with the decreased turn meter and get even more accuracy to make sure that procs. So either way, that would be perfectly fine. And then I went increase accuracy for each enemy alive, stacks up to 16. It's a good one, just extra accuracy, more chances to land those different debuffs. And then Arcane Clarity, 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff he casts is removed or expired. Little turn meter boost here and there when one of those debuffs comes down. Pretty much good everywhere. And then Cycle of Magic, 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn at the start of every turn. Doesn't land very often, obviously at 5%, but it's just in there. Maybe it'll occasionally lower the cooldown of the big AoE decreased turn meter. Not a bad move to have. And then I went with Lore of Steel. Increase the base stat bonuses of all artifact sets that increase base stats by 15. So your life, defense, attack, speed, accuracy, I believe. No, you know what? It wouldn't be accuracy. That's a flat number. But all those percentage-based stats on your normal gear, it'll give you an extra 15%. So that's really useful when you're using those normal sets. Let's see here. And then Sniper. This is an important one. Increases the chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%. Let's see. So it doesn't do the stun, sleep, freeze, and fears and provoke. But this gives you a better chance to land that decreased defense and the weaken, which is really important. So this one is definitely a taker. And the last one, Master Hexer, 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff. Has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn, other than stun, sleep, freeze, provoke, fear, true fear, and bomb. So all the ones he does, weaken, decrease defense, those will get extended if they proc. It's worth it. Keep those debuffs on longer, get more damage in. It's a good time. And then in the offense tree, I just went crit rate, crit damage, increased damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with 50% HP or less, along with the life drinker heal by 5% of your attack when attacking with 50% HP or less. Bring it down, increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. This one can be good in like arena if you're fighting tanky HP based characters, because he's mostly defense, so you don't build a ton of HP, so you still can run into targets that are a little meatier in the health department. Dungeon bosses, clan boss, should you use him there, because he is perfectly viable in the clan boss, having both the weaken and the decreased defense. He's not the best option there in clan boss, but he's definitely usable there, so if you don't have a decreased defense or weaken, he can fill that role for you until you get someone different. And then kill streak increases damage inflicted by 6% in arena, 3% in all other locations for each enemy killed by this champion in battle, stacks across the whole battle up to 12%. It's decent if you're running dungeons. He manages to kill a few of the waves beforehand or some of the enemies in it, and then you just get a little extra damage buff when you do make it to the boss. And then the most important one, Giant Slayer, 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 7.5% of target champion's max HP, or 3% of a boss. And it can occur on every hit of an ability. So with this 3-hit A1, which is his auto attack, each of those hits has a 30% chance of proccing this. Best for clan boss, but it's good for normal, just dungeon bosses and everything like that, as I'm sure you've seen before. Giant Slayer's the way to go with the multi-hit. Here we go, this should be a good one to show. Alright, so get in there, we get going. First turn meter reduction on an AoE. So now we're up to him. So they're building their turn meter, they're trying to get in there. You hit them with the bog down. Boom. Not their turn anymore. And now it's back to you. And you can just keep going. And especially if you build him real fast or if you have a bunch of speed boosters, he can be really useful in Arena. And the win. Yeah, sitting in there with actually hitting the hardest with that 76k. Even harder than the other two damage dealers. Not bad. But yeah, that is Rhazin Scarhide. Like I said, I highly recommend you go for him. He made a big difference for me as a new player when I finally got him. It's definitely a milestone worth going for. I highly recommend it. I think he's super cool too. So yeah, that's about all, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed any of this or learned anything at all, drop a like and subscribe for more, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.